Welcome to the Sports Insider Pro Daily Fantasy Football Podcast. From cash games to GPPs, we'll give you the info you need with breakdowns of all the games and key matchups to help you create your lineup. And now, here are your hosts, Ryan Hickswa and Justin Alvarez.
Hello, Insiders. Welcome again to the Sports Insider Pro Fantasy Football Podcast. I am Ryan Hickswa. That is Justin Alvarez. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. A little tired from work, but ready to get this done.
Awesome. First off, I want to thank everyone for watching. As always, please subscribe down below and give us any comments or feedback if you want to see anything in particular or something in format that you guys really want to see. That'd be really cool to hear from you guys. We're going to change up the format a little bit. We're going to go position by position. I think it'll help us, really pinpoint some key plays that, Justin and I are really looking at to really help you guys pick some winning lineups. So you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's start off with the quarterback position. The slate, at least on DraftKings, it's a pretty spread out salary. You really only have Tom Brady at the top. Tom, Aaron, Drew, Matt, before you start getting into some value. Do you have anyone there in that range that you're looking to play?
I'm looking at two. You said of Brady, Rodgers, Brees, and who?
Brees and Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. All right. So
I know you have like Matt Stafford in there, but I don't think you're going that way.
I'm not going there. Like if anything, I'm paying down to Matt Ryan, and 100 more is Drew Brees. So I like Brady. I'm not a big fan of Rodgers this week. Like I know it does. You can play him every week, and his floor is so high. But I'm probably gonna go with Brees, or I'm just paying up for Brady at that point.
Right.
The thing is though, like that, it'd probably be a good GPP play to go Aaron Rodgers, just because they're not gonna run this ball, I don't think, against Minnesota like successfully anyway.
Agreed.
So I think he's gonna throw a lot, that makes his floor go way higher. And we'll talk about someone I like in that game as well. But I like him for GPPs, but Brady's my guy here. He's the top overall against the Jets. The Jets haven't been so bad against the pass, but I don't think they've really seen any offense like this. So I think he's just going to slash them up. I could see this being a running game for them a little bit.
About? Your team has won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
You're about to be first place.
I'm a realist.
Are you first place?
I don't know what Buffalo's record is, and I know we're tied with New England, so that's something. But I think
for you,
I think Brady's gonna just destroy us and just be like, all right, you know who we are. You guys are the Jets. Relax.
Yeah.
And so out of those guys, Brees is in a good spot at home against the Detroit defense. We'll touch on the running backs there, but I think Brees is going to be the one doing all the heavy lifting in this game, so I like him.
Yeah, no, he notoriously comes back from buys pretty strong.
Yeah. I just don't think you're going to do or put any of these guys in cash games just because you're going to want to save money in some better spots.
Sure, I agree. I know a lot of people, when I first saw, the breakdown this week, I thought it was a good opportunity to pay up a quarterback, but you're right. I don't think it necessarily is the way to go.
Yeah.
I agree. If you're gonna pay up, I like Brees. I know Detroit tends to slow the play down, but I kind of think you're gonna start to see, the real Detroit defense. They were playing pretty high over their heads. I think they're good. I know Slay's good, but still, I think Brees has some targets that'll be able to negate that.
Yeah.
How about in this middle section? I know you have some interest in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, it's between him and Watson.
Yeah.
For cash games. On FanDuel, there's a $100 difference. So, it's really who you think is gonna do better and whose floor you like more. It's kind of rough because I think Watson's the better play overall just because of his legs, and he's shown he's not scared to throw the ball down the field, and
Right.
garbage time still counts. So if Cousins gets up early on this team and they run the ball,
Yeah,
you
I don't know
know,
if I don't know if the Niners are just gonna roll over. They haven't rolled over all season. They tend to come back pretty hard.
yeah,
Their coach is offensive minded. The Niners is.
yeah,
Um, and he schemes right. Even in that game last week against Indianapolis, you would see that. You kind of thought it was out of control, but then he gets the half, puts it together, and all of a sudden it's a tie game and they're going into overtime.
yeah.
So I think they can keep it close enough that Cousins can get some. He's not just going to be running the ball.
Yeah, I agree. Like we'll talk about running backs again in a second, but I think like they might have some decent success on the floor, so it might limit his upside.
Sure.
Where Watson, I think Cleveland has shown they can stop the run, but they can't stop passing. So,
Sure.
and I believe they play man coverage. So again,
Yeah.
for a QB
Look,
that's mobile,
Watson's going to be chalk.
yeah,
Everyone's. I think I see him being the highest owned quarterback. I mean, I think it's spread out pretty, evenly this week. I think there's a lot of good plays, but I definitely see people thinking that they're paying down, just going to Watson against Cleveland. Because you said Rodgers doesn't have a great matchup. Tom Brady might be just handing the ball to Gillisley all day.
yeah, he might.
Breeze, even his matchup isn't the best. Um, you know, so I think I could see a lot of people being on Watson. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think in a
It's
cash
a
game,
smart move.
it's
Yeah, I'm probably sticking to it, but like
All
I
right,
said, Cousins is in a good spot too. You can't go wrong.
sure. I don't mind Phillip Rivers.
I think he's gonna be low owned, and I like it for GPPs.
Sure. I'm not gonna go out of my way, but
Mm,
I might have a little bit just to get some exposure to it.
yeah.
Um, and then I don't really like any of these other middle plays. I don't see anyone on FanDuel that's really kind of worth it.
Um, let me see. Like,
Who's your
there's gonna
value
be a.
guy of the week?
All right. Well, if you're playing the Monday, Sunday to Monday, or um, any of those prime times, I like Brissett again. I talked about him last week. I still think Tennessee's defense is just terrible. Like they're disgustingly terrible. In the pass
They
game.
are.
So I'm all about him again. Another mobile quarterback. I like that for floors for cash games. Um, you know, I'm not afraid to use him. But if we're not talking about that game, it's gonna be Hogan. But I'm not.
Yes. Do it.
I'm doing it in GPPs only.
Do
I
it.
don't trust it.
I'm
I'm
doing
sorry.
it everywhere.
That's
Hulkamania is back. Look.
Are you playing him in cash?
Yeah.
No. Oh
Yes.
my. How much is he?
It's 4,600.
Okay, I like that. That's like the McCowan thing.
Look,
It's
he's
just,
gonna allow you to get. Look, he played a half of football last week, put up 17 points, albeit to the Jets. I know the Jets suck, but they're a crappy team that's 3-2.
yeah.
If you go on to Pro Football Focus and look at their offensive line, defensive line matchups, Cleveland has a 25% advantage against the pass and a 23% advantage against the run, which are both positive matchups. I don't think they win this game, but the spread's already been, bet down from 10 to 9. I
Okay.
think sharp money's starting to come in on Cleveland. I think they can keep it competitive.
Let me see what we got here. So it opened at 44. Now the total
And it
is
went up to
47.
47. Yeah, so the over-under's going up, the spread's going down. I think this is going to shoot out. Houston just lost J.J. Watt and another one of their linemen. So the interior of that defense, their two best pass rushers are both out. I think it just sets up for a prime spot
Yeah,
at
I
a cheap
think
price,
that
and I want to get on this before everyone else because next week if he goes off this week, next week he's gonna be 5,500 in super chalk.
I mean, you mentioned those two guys being out on defense. I think that's a big thing people need to pay attention to. Like, defensive injuries make a huge difference.
Sure,
Even if it's one guy, if he has that much of an impact, it
it's
does
JJ
matter.
Watt.
No, I know exactly.
you know,
And what's his name, Marcelo? He's no slouch. Like, he
right.
wasn't having the best year, but it wasn't miserable, and he's been good. So, yeah, I like it. I like it more for GP. I don't trust it in cash. Like, I could see him just dudding all of a sudden. Like, oh, he's a rookie QB who doesn't, like,
Sure. Oh
he
no,
didn't get his
I
stuff
think
together.
once there's tape on him, he's
Yeah.
not but he's a Stanford guy. He's smart.
Yeah.
He has a decent floor. He had a 100-yard rushing game in college, a few years ago. There's nothing that say that he's not gonna get. Houston's one of the most blitz-heavy teams in the league. He's gonna escape the pocket and run for yards, 50, 60 yards. At a 4,600 value. I got to do it.
But
To
yeah, the
me,
value is there for
it's
you.
just it's so there.
6,100. He's near minimum for me.
Sure.
He's 100 more than minimum. I don't know. I'm gonna probably go Watson, but
Oh no, yeah, like that's. I mean, he's a
yeah, yeah. Well, whatever. It's in play. Like, I get it. We understand why you'll
Sure.
play him over there. But yeah.
All right. Do you have any other value plays? I think.
No, McCowan might be played this week. I think actually New England might have a better game than people. I know they're terrible, but
Sure.
I think they might be able to. They have a bye.
They've surprised us all by winning 3 games in a row. There's nothing to say that Josh McCown couldn't go ahead and put the ball up. They're
look at all his
starts in
starts.
passing yards against.
He hasn't done anything spectacular. He's been okay. And that's okay.
Oh yeah, no,
you want that?
Sure.
But I feel like Bill Belichick is going to be like, all right, let's do this plan perfectly, and just he's going to be lost out there. But that's just me being a Jets fan who's seen enough games against New England.
All right, let's go to the running backs.
All right.
So obviously, on both sites, the studs are going to be high up there. We have Bell, Hunt, Fournette, Freeman, Gordon, Gurley. Who are you looking at out of those top range guys?
I like all of them.
Really?
I like Hunt. I love Bell. I love Fournette. I love Freeman. Then I don't love Melvin Gordon.
I don't.
He screwed. I just don't know what to do. Like, last week he went off, and it's like he's so bad, but that's how bad the Giants' defense is.
No, you're right. And I read the stat about Cleveland that both of their pass and run, offensive lines are both positive. There's 2 teams that are both negative, and the Chargers are one of those 2. They have a negative matchup in both the run and the pass this week, and I know it's against a struggling Oakland team, but I think the air is where they're going to get burned, not on the ground. Yeah. And especially people are going to be on Gordon so heavy from last week.
It's terrible.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that. We missed that boat. I should have played more of him last week. I played some, but definitely should have been under the field. And that's where you got to find. Anytime there's a guy that is good enough, or gets the volume and is that underpriced, you got to play him.
Yeah, and he wasn't even owned heavily. Like, that's what I'm looking at. I think my decisions for GPPs this week is going to be on the ownership more than anything else, because I think a lot of these guys have decent matchups. So it's going to come more, all right, let me gain some leverage on the field more than, okay, I actually just love this guy. Like I mentioned, like Hunt, Fournette, Bell, Freeman, and Gurley. They're all in good spots.
Yeah,
so
it's I kind of like Gurley's spot. I was kind of torn between, and they're all kind of playing each other, right? So I was really torn against playing Fournette or Gurley, and Bell and Hunt. So you don't necessarily want to pick both from the same matchup, I mean, it's not a bad idea. But, I know Pittsburgh's defense has been getting torched on the ground, and they've been doing well against the pass. So they're starting to turn very funnily. But the Rams have a very positive run matchup on the line. I know it's tough to throw against Jacksonville, and
Yes.
I think they know what the Rams did last week. They don't want to do that again. I mean, they totally got away from the game plan, and feed Gurley. I mean, that's what you have to
Yeah.
do, and
That's it.
yeah,
I don't get why they didn't do that. That was
and
like so surprising
I
to me.
think, I don't know the spread on this game. Um, I
I'll
think
tell you right
Jacksonville's
now.
favored because they're home, but their
As of
offense
right now,
isn't
they're
good.
favored.
I mean, they're maybe I'll play a crazy Jacksonville stack, but you got to remember it's all defense and run game for them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a slow paced game. I think they use Gurley to grind it out.
The Jacksonville's minus 2.5 as of now. It
Right.
opened as a pick'em, and the total has gone down. So this just looks like I I think it's just going to be both teams running the ball, and they say, okay, we both can run on each other,
Sure.
and so I actually don't mind the idea of playing a GPP with Fournette and Gurley in it, because I
Right.
think if they both understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, like they're just gonna hand the ball off to their running backs like 30 times, um, and that's what I'd hope for, especially if I don't think people are gonna like want to make that combo, like two running backs from opposite teams going
Agreed.
against each other.
Right.
So that's a little sneaky if you want to try and be different there. Um, Mid tier guys. I mean, look, Hunt. I think Hunt's going to be heavily owned too, but I think he's going to have a good game. They're going to feed him this game. Like Pittsburgh's
Hunt, I
not.
think, is the number one running back on DraftKings this week. Last week, people weren't able to play him because he wasn't on the main slate.
Yeah.
People are going to want to get it. They're going to see what happened to Pittsburgh last week. Ba 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 ba. I think he's going to be crazy owned. And I don't hate it, but I just think I'd rather go to Bell. I'd rather go down to Gurley. To me
I mean,
personally, in this spot.
yeah. In GPPs, I don't know if he's. I don't know. Do you think? I mean, on Fanduel, I don't know if he's going to be chalk Hunt. So it might be like a
Sure, he's the
cool.
top price guy. I feel like the top price guy is always,
Their
especially on a
chalk.
site like Hunt.
I think the chalk's going to go to the value that we'll talk about in a little
See,
bit.
but I don't. Someone brought up a good point that I was listening to a few years ago before Bell and DJ came along, and you had to put them in your lineup. You weren't playing expensive running backs. You were always trying to find value at running back because you needed the points on the receptions. Because even in FanDuel, it's still a half a point.
Yeah. But the
So
touchdowns matter and the volume. So like you
right,
need those
but I
wide
think
receivers
I
more
think
than
we're starting to see it reverse back to finding that value at running
value.
back, value at
Yeah.
quarterback, and then pay up for those wide receivers. Because those are the guys that are getting those big chunk yards, big points, big touchdowns, and then because it's a look. Everyone knew you should have ran Bell that whole game last week, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And everyone knew you should have ran Gurley that whole game last week, and they didn't do it, and you lose. So we're smart, right?
Yeah. I mean, the
we all know
coaches
what they should
aren't
be doing,
like, yeah, and
but
it's
then
like
they
it's
try to
so
get too
annoying.
smart, right?
It's like I need like a freaking Twitter of these coaches so I can figure out their scheme so I know, okay, well they're gonna throw the ball, so forget Le'Veon Bell. Like, like it doesn't make sense to me, but
Right.
whatever.
So if I'm paying up, I'm going Bell.
I like
I'm going
Bell
Gurley.
as the pivot off of Hunt if the
Sure.
ownership is gonna be
No, I do too. Look, they're still a professional football team. Pittsburgh's still supposed to be good. Um,
mm,
I think Bell's still a good way to go. I mean, he's in a positive matchup. It's going to be a close game. You know, um, Kansas City ranks 20th. Look, their defense isn't that good at all. I mean, they've let up big games to
Yeah.
everyone they've played.
They rank
You know,
24th in rush DVOA.
okay.
So that's
Right. They're
pretty
bottom they're
bad.
bottom half in the league in every
Yeah,
category. So I don't,
exactly.
and I you know, give me Bell. It's one of those weeks that if,
Yeah.
if I'm paying up. Now if I'm paying down, I think, or well, do you have some mid tier guys, right? I think you said you liked Jordan Howard a bit.
I do like Jordan Howard a bit. Again, this is more a GPP call. Baltimore
Sure.
people are gonna just look. Oh, I need their defense. Chicago's a bad team. I think Chicago is gonna understand like they should understand they shouldn't be throwing on this team, and they should feed him a lot. Tariq Cohen, he's seen his snap percentage go down a lot over the last 3 weeks. It's just slowly decreased. So, and we see Jordan Howard, 19 attempts, 18 attempts, 23 attempts the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
So I think this is a week he can actually have a good showing, and
Yeah, and I'm,
I don't think he's going to be popular at all with all these other names we're mentioning.
of
Um,
course.
so I like it a lot. I don't see a lot of people talking to him, talking about him, and that I think that's the only guy in the mid tier. Like he's 6,900, and then
Oh,
we move down.
there's one that I'm all about.
Okay, who's that?
I yeah, no, I don't like him for you guys either. On DK, 5,100. Lock him in. I want you all out there to play him right now because you will win with him. It's the return DJ. Duke Johnson.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, no. Just like I'm talking, I'm so on Cleveland. It's so dirty.
Yeah, I
Um,
like it. I like it.
but like we said before, they just lost two of their most important defenders. Um, this whole Isaiah Crowell feeding him the ball thing, it isn't happening, folks. It's not going to work. It's
Nope.
just, look, Duke Johnson, he's the go-to guy. He's going to be their third down back, and that's fine. But Houston ranks 28th in points against per game. They're middle of the road in both passing and rushing defense. Total yards allowed, that's fine with me. Especially when you just lost, your big defensive guys. Hogan's going to have to throw to someone. I still think the perimeters are pretty solid for Houston. Not the best, but okay. It's kind of their front four that are the best, and now they're down one. So I think it's all in the middle of the field is open for them. Just look at what happened when Lee went down for Dallas. I kind of think the same thing is going to happen with Watt, and they're going to be able to use the middle of the field. So I'm kind of locking and loading him in most of my lineups. I don't hate Coleman if Sanu's out.
Coleman. Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
like him.
and then I know for you, Mark Ingram would be mid tier. But on DK, I'm going to get into some value now. It's Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, and McKinnon all day.
Yeah.
I think this is where we're going to. How I'm looking to build my lineup on DraftKings is going cheap at running, cheap at quarterback, going with Hogan, paying for one of these two guys, McKinnon or Ingram or Kamara. I know on DK it's a little more because we have the full point PPR, and then building around those two.
Okay, so where did I leave off? Jordan Howard. On FanDuel, CJ Anderson. You guys don't have it, but for the Sunday night guys, he's in a smash spot against the Giants. You saw what Melvin Gordon did. I don't think he's a good running back, and he destroyed them. They look like a college team. The injuries now, they're gonna be. I would probably want to bet like everything I own on this game, and I mean, my luck, I'd probably lose, but I just don't. Denver's might score like 30 points, and CJ Anderson's just gonna run the ball.
Sure.
So I think he's a smash spot. I love him in cash if you're playing that game involved in your slate. But if not, we're moving down on FanDuel to we have 6,400 Abdullah. I don't like it.
I don't hate
DeMar.
it if you think the game flow is going to go right. I'm not playing it, but look, if you people out there think that they want to slow down Drew Brees, he's a guy that's going to do it. They're going to go try to go through him. I don't think it happens, but if
Yeah,
you think that's how the game flow is going to play, I'm
I
not
mean
afraid of playing him.
it's kind of like they should. I mean, they should run the ball, and it should be Tate and Abdullah really. Like they focus on and Ebron, but he's terrible. So
Right.
whatever. But the middle of the field is where they should be attacking. So I mean, I feel like this is the day like he could have 3 touchdowns, Abdullah, and be another GPP winner.
Sure.
So I
I'll
might
stay
have
away,
him.
but
Yeah,
yeah, no.
I was gonna say DeMarco Murray for the Monday slate. He's interesting in that spot, but I don't love it. Gillisley is the guy I love for GPPs. I think he could have a 3 touchdown game. We're moving down. I'm not touching Chris Thompson. He's just not like they said. Perrine's gonna see most of the work.
Yeah,
So that's a split backfield.
Sure.
Guy I love for GPPs is Marshawn Lynch. I think
he's in a good spot. They have the best matchup against the line.
Yeah, I
At
just think
59%, it's like a really good spot. If this was any other running back or any other situation, I would plug it in so hard.
Exactly.
It would be
and I feel like people are not going to even think about him like, oh, whatever, he's done.
Yeah, but they haven't put in any game script that...
You're right. And Cooper, he's whatever, like, he's been having his troubles as of right now.
Right.
Casey Hayward is something we would like to know where he's going to be, but probably won't. They might, Crabtree and Cooper might see him. Sure. And it's just not, and Carr's limited in practice as of today. So I think the game plan for Oakland, if they're smart and want to kind of, come out with a victory here, is to feed Marshawn Lynch the ball, and it'll help open up the pass game. And he's looked good. Like I've seen him run, and on these runs he looks fine. He's just not getting the game strip where he can run on the left enough. So I think this is a great spot. GPPs, I'm going to have exposure to him a little tiny bit, but I love it there. Mark Ingram, I know a lot of people are going to be on it like it this week.
I don't think so. I am. I love him. I think I have to in cash. I think I'm on him on cash. I know.
I don't understand why. Like he's not been amazing. Like maybe for you over there,
but that's why
the receptions are okay because that's going to help build his floor. But at
4,400, and I know I'm going to get at least 11 points. Okay, but his targets and touches have all been going up each week. Adrian Peterson is gone. He's the running back. Kamara's the change of pace, and I know he had a great game against Miami. Blah blah blah. But I think they're gonna want to do the same thing that Detroit wants to do, and if I know,
do you think this hits the under? No, by any chance?
No.
If they go to their running backs?
No, it's in the dome. No. The Lions' passing defense isn't good enough to get it there. New Orleans is at home. They're favored. I think they get up 2 touchdowns. Matt Stafford is hurt. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to just be giving the ball to Mark Ingram and Kamara. Kamara might get them there, but Ingram's going to keep them there.
I feel like New Orleans might just run away with this, actually.
Sure, and that's why I want Ingram.
But I think, like, talking about that over-under, I think it might go under. What did it open at? 51? 51, it's at 50. I see 49.5. So I think it
Sure,
might
it
just
can
be
definitely
like,
go under, but I still think there's value
I think
on
it's
New
New
Orleans' side.
Orleans side, yeah.
Sure.
So,
But
but
I just
my whole
at
point is that they're
4,400
still,
on DK, you gotta play him.
yeah,
To me, he's the
yeah.
one you gotta play. If you don't, then you have to play Kamara. You gotta play one of them. They're both too cheap in this matchup. Um,
I
they're
like
gonna put up
McKinnon
points.
better than both of them,
And
honestly.
yes, but and you have to play him too.
Yeah.
So that's why,
Like, well,
yeah,
that's good. Then you could pay up for everything else. It's
right.
like, so that's fine. I just, for me over at FanDuel 5,900, I'm gonna move to McKinnon at 56, and I just think if Kamara is gonna be a guy there, their floors, their upsides limited again. Like for you, again, the targets are gonna help keep his floor up and that cheap price. But over here, I like it's just Miami's defense. He had 14 rush attempts. He scored 8.2 FanDuel points. Then he had Carolina. They're kind of tough, but we saw LeGarrette Blunt run on them today.
Sure.
He had 9.6 against New England. They were terrible. What, this is in September. He 9.6. Now Peterson was there, but I'm just saying, like, I don't see this big upside. Like, it's gonna help that Peterson's gone, but I just don't see this. And Detroit's run defense isn't that bad.
Right.
So
But
for
I don't
me,
think I'm not worried at. I'm looking at 5 targets, 5 targets, 4 targets,
exactly,
8
and you're looking
targets.
at the price point. If he's like
Right.
around 5 something, 6,000 now,
No touchdowns yet. I think that's
Yeah,
going to regress. Like, look,
I don't
they
think
tried
it's
the
gonna.
Adrian Peterson thing. He was getting the ball almost 10 times a game, Adrian. That's going to get split between Ingram and Kamara. And I think it's a heavier split towards Ingram because he obviously fits the profile more.
Yeah.
I it just, I know they don't run the ball much, but they get the week off. They get to really plan for this team. I don't think Detroit has not allowed 100-yard rusher for like 17 straight games. I don't think they're going to get 100-yard rushing, but do I
Yeah.
see 50 rushing, 50 passing? Sure.
Okay.
I think
That's fair
there's,
enough.
yeah, and a touchdown at 4,400.
If he
Sure.
gets a touchdown, it's icing on the cake. I really
Yeah.
don't think it's going to happen. But again, with that receiving, he might get the touchdown.
And the game script. I just
at
think the
that
game script's in his
price,
favor.
Okay, I don't hate it. I just, for me on FanDuel, I'm not.
No,
doing
yeah,
it.
no.
And I think that's it for the
Yeah, I do
running
too.
backs that I like. So, we can move on.
All right. Now that I'm going cheap on every other position, it's time to talk about what I want to spend my money on.
Yep.
I want
Yep.
all of them. Give me all the receivers. Obviously, are you locking and loading Brown?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Over Bell, correct?
Yeah. Like, I'm probably going value. Like McKinnon, and then like, I don't know. I might end up on Bell, but I'll probably
Technically,
go to
you're
Gurley.
saving $300 on DK. Again, I like to go back to this offensive defensive line matchups. Pittsburgh has the best against the pass. Again, we said it before for Bell. Kansas City's defense is not good. They're a good team, but their defense isn't good.
Yeah.
I don't want to play both of them, but I might because
Yeah,
I have the savings.
I think that defense is susceptible to both of them. So I think that offense can score on Pittsburgh. That it's not going to be like, oh, they're going to stop, trying to score.
Right. And I think people are going to be off of Pittsburgh. I think they just saw this stupid loss.
Especially with the away narrative. And we didn't talk about him, but Ben Roethlisberger is like my 1%. I'm throwing him in some GPPs with Antonio Brown. Love it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm hoping it pays off this week. So just a little FYI there. But yeah, I think they're both in play, but I think Antonio Brown with his floor is just like almost a lock. And I think with the value, it's like, why wouldn't you? Like, he's only had against Baltimore 9 targets, and they're a good pass defense.
Right.
And he still had 9 targets. So Jacksonville, whatever, they threw 19 times to him, which is absurd. I don't get it. But, I mean, again, he was able to do that. I mean, 19
I don't want to
targets is
talk
still a
about it.
lot. That's just dumb. But
So
he's in a
stupid.
way better spot, so I think
Yes.
he's crushing. I think you want him.
All right.
Um,
Who else would we want to pay up for at these kind of?
um, I'm damn like Michael Thomas. I'm going there GPP only. He's what 700 less. He's not a bad cash game
I'm
play
locking him in.
either.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, that might not be terrible
Look,
either.
I know Slay's good, but Michael
But
Thomas is a physical receiver that's going to be able to do what he wants with the guy. Drew Brees is smart enough to know when to pick on him and when not to.
yeah,
I just think he's been doing it for a year and a half. He's gonna keep doing it. He's Michael Thomas, folks. Like don't
he's
overthink it. I
good.
think there's a lot of matchups in these higher prices that aren't good. Diggs is
See,
questionable. Cooks, I don't think has a great game, but you never know who's gonna have a good game. I'm not a huge fan of Hopkins this week. I think
what?
it's just I think it's too
Why?
much to pay. 8,000 is a lot.
Where-
He
you're-
went nuts.
What's
he
he
went
on
nuts.
your? What's he? What is he for you?
81.
And what's Michael Thomas?
73.
All right. See, for me, Michael Thomas 85, Hopkins
Right.
8, and I'm playing Hopkins over him. Like it's easy for me
Right.
there.
I would. Yeah. No, that I understand. But yeah, no, at
So,
8,100,
okay.
Hopkins is tough. If I want him to get 15 to 18 points, sure. But do I think he's gonna smash 24 every game? Look. Oh God, just play Antonio Brown. Look at what DeAndre Hopkins did. Oh God, it's gonna be so good. So good.
What?
DeAndre Hopkins put up 27 points
Oh
against
yeah,
this Kansas City defense. Play
it's
Antonio
bad.
Brown.
Antonio Brown's a lock. Like
Oh my God.
I think I might have 100% him.
But yeah, no, I like Thomas, but I'm off Jordy because I think the matchup obviously is tough.
Okay, that makes we're not talking high price, but Devontae Adams I love this week. If Jordy Nelson,
Yeah, no, we
goes,
can go to the
he's there
middle. I don't
rest.
really like anyone else in this.
I don't
high.
like
Julio
Cooks.
Jones. Play him.
Oh, yeah, Julio Jones. I mean, but here's my point. Their spread is so big, and like I don't worry so much anymore about that because what the spread entails to me is that they're going to score, and they are gonna score whichever way they score the best or the players they use to score.
Sure.
And Julio Jones hasn't been targeted in the red zone, but again, last week he got hurt. They've been running the ball well, and he's still seen what at Green Bay, Detroit, 9, 12 targets. So they're still feeding him. And I think at Buffalo he was going to have a huge game, but he got hurt. So I still think he's safe, but it kind of worries me because I think they're going to run the ball a lot more.
Sure.
And I think his upside's limited. So cash and go from there. I don't like Cooks. T.Y. Hilton. You said his road splits are really like crazy. I believe in those to an extent, but like when you're versing a terrible defense, and if Tennessee they do stop the run,
Sure.
they're pretty good, and so I think it's going to be funneled. Like I like Brissett, and I think T.Y. Hilton might have a good game in this road game to kind of,
Sure, I understand. I just need to think about how Brissett's going to play on Monday night.
Yeah.
On the road, not in a dome, not when they're... I don't know. It's just GPP, I guess.
Like if he's going to be high owned.
See, I never like playing TY after his big game. Because it's never, I don't know, like unless Andrew Luck's throwing him the ball, he never has those two in a row. I mean, he does. He's a good wide receiver, but I don't know if this is the spot. I'm happy I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, look, I'm gonna be like I actually plugged him in like in my Thursday through Monday.
Sure.
I might change it, but like I can go down to Hogan, which would probably be smarter. I like Tate this week, like we talked about, but
Sure.
they haven't been explosive, and Tate doesn't go down the field that much. So he's
No,
kind
but I
of
like you said, if Hogan's cheaper, I
yeah.
mean, I think he's probably a lot. He's the next Jordy. He's going to score a touchdown every week. You're not going to know why. You're not going to like playing it because it's not the sexy option, but he's just going to keep doing it. It's still Tom
Um,
Brady.
yeah,
Still the
exactly.
Jets.
So
Like,
I think that's fair point. Like just don't even you don't really have to think about it. I'm probably gonna switch that up. Then I have Keenan Allen because I'm going over Tariq Hill. I'm not in love with this spot. And Kelsey was a full participant in practice, so I think he's gonna play, and I think he'll be getting a lot. It'll cut into Hill. Hill could break off.
of course.
We know that, but
Yeah, he's Deshaun
I'm
Jackson.
not playing him in cash.
And
Diggs,
I'd
I'm
rather
not
have
playing in
Deshaun
cash.
Jackson this week.
Exactly. Keenan Allen I have, and then Crabtree. What do you think about the Oakland receivers and
Crabtree,
your
love
thoughts
him.
on Keenan Allen? Okay.
Love Crabtree. If Derek Carr is playing,
Yeah. What if
maybe
he's
if
not?
Derek Carr is not playing, I'll still like Crabtree. I think he's the guy there. He's that. I don't know. Look, if Cooper's gonna have that game and he's gonna go nuts,
Mm-hmm.
he's really cheap on DraftKings. I'll
Yeah.
maybe play one flyer on him with a whole bunch of guys I think are gonna be low owned. But yeah, no, I'm definitely Crabtree. He's kind of priced right in those mid 500s. Look on DK right now. Right next to each other are Deshaun Jackson, Michael Crabtree, Devontae Adams, and Terrell Pryor.
Who are you playing out of those guys?
Out of those guys, I think I want Crabtree as long as Carr is playing. Then Adams, then Pryor, then Jackson, then Jackson, then Pryor. I kind of like them all. It's kind of a toss up to me. Look, I know there's been a lot of coach speak about getting Crowder the ball in Washington. Pryor and Cousins have started to figure it out. If you saw last game,
Mm-hmm.
and the vertical wide receiver is the one that does the damage on San Francisco, not the slot one. You saw Sammy Watkins go off, not Cooper Kupp. You see the Lockett's and the Richardsons went off, not Baldwin. Oh no, that's different. Ty went off.
T.Y. Yeah.
Not your Moncriefs. Not that he's any
Yeah.
great, but in a GPP I'm playing Pryor, in cash I'm playing Crabtree. I might play Jackson in cash. That second wide receiver off of Arizona.
I mean, that's kind of Cash though. He's like so like.
Yeah, but I think he's getting the targets. He's had some okay games. It's pretty consistent. Not really. A Giants defense is okay.
Who are they versus in Arizona?
It's just the matchup. It's purely matchup based.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna have to throw in Arizona. They don't give up a lot of running.
Right,
on them.
and
So,
and
okay.
Peterson's gonna be all over Evans.
Yeah. I like the call. I just don't. I don't know if I trust it in cash, but
I love Adams too. If you want to
love
save
Adams.
$100, go to Adams. That's
love
not a problem with
Adams.
me. I'll have him everywhere too.
Yeah.
But then
Okay.
then you're just going into GPB darts. If Sanu doesn't
Exactly.
play, I like Gabriel. I don't mind Smith Schuster this week. That defense stinks, folks. And Schuster's been getting some looks. His targets have been, pretty steady, 4 to 6 a game. And this was 6 targets. Like, he had a good game against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a tough defense. He had 4 catches, 58
threw
yards.
a million times for
if he
no reason.
Right. If he catches a touchdown, he's in a good position.
I just
He's got
don't
a good
think
matchup right now.
GPP
And he's cheap. He's 3,600. So if you're trying to save and pay up for one big running back and one big wide receiver,
Here's my problem with that. Like, I get it, but like in GPPs, you don't want just that one touchdown. You need the guy who's cheap to go off like one of the studs would. So when we talk about this, like I'm looking at like Taylor Gabriel in the spot if Sanu sits because he might catch two long balls.
Yeah.
So then he gets up there in points at that cheap price. Amazing. But if we just think, one touchdown with a couple of catches, like I don't really care for it. And I think Antonio Brown's gonna smash. And said Eli Rogers is going to be involved now. So
Sure.
I'm off of all the other guys except Brown. Then you didn't talk about Garcon.
I do like him, but he's kind of out. They outpriced him for me. You know, I'm not on him now. He's just not what I really. You know, I'm paying up. I'm going Antonio. I'm going, Thomas,
Yeah, yeah.
and and Hopkins. Give me all of them, even though I don't want Hopkins. But
For me on FanDuel, I think if I wanted to be really different, like Garcon 6,800, and then I have
oh no,
Fitzgerald
I
at
like him. I like him
66.
on. And yeah, no, I like him over there.
I can pay down at quarterback and wide receiver to pay up at my 2 running back spots, kind
Sure.
of. And
Yeah, there's not a lot of good value this week, like there has been.
What do you think of Amendola?
No,
No,
I'm okay.
no
Sure,
Will
he'll
Fuller for
probably
you.
go off.
He's caught
No,
2 touchdowns in both of his games against Tennessee and Kansas City, and now
look,
gets
if I'm
a
playing,
Cleveland
if I'm
defense.
playing Watson, and I want to stack, I'll stack him
and Hopkins, because I mean
Sure.
people are gonna
Right.
go Griffin, but
Right.
I mean I might have to play him on FanDuel. Like you told me, he's 4,500. He's min price, but I don't know. Like if they're not gonna run the ball, I don't think, like I said, they can. It's just gonna be all throws. So
Right.
like
All right.
something to keep in mind.
I mean, are there any other wide receivers that you're looking at?
Gabriel, I mentioned.
Say Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
You're
Fitzgerald.
a dirty man.
I don't
so
care.
dirty.
Like
It's so
if
gross.
people don't want to play him this week, I'll play him.
I just want people to always listen to me rant.
He
Against
has
the
the
Arizona
targets.
Cardinals.
He had Tampa Bay.
You're
is
ridiculous.
not against the pass. Like it's another good spot.
Sounds keep coming out of
he's
your
had
mouth.
He had 6 great matchups this year. Like, I mean, he's gone off in one of them. Like, and
Yes.
it kind of sucks. Like you're like, oh, like what the hell? But Tampa Bay, like,
Why did I do this?
You know what? I'm probably not gonna go there only because Tampa Bay will probably get pressure on Palmer.
Oh,
which
now, yeah. Now, not the other matchups that were bad for him. And you heard it here first, folks. Now Fitzgerald's going to have 3 touchdowns, 250 yards out of the slot.
Oh my god. Oh, their pass is minus 39. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
What do you think of Thielen if what's his name? Diggs doesn't play.
I want to like it, but I kind of think half of what makes Thielen good is having Diggs out there. Look, I know Green Bay's vulnerable. You saw Cole Beasley catch 2 touchdowns last week. It's a play. I'll play him in a GPP because he could do that too. And he can get all the work. But I'm not in love with it.
I think
I'd rather have Adams for $300 less. I'd rather have everyone that I was just talking about over him.
Like I'll take Fitzgerald over Thielen this week if everyone's gonna go to Thielen. I'm stupid.
Dude, you're tilting.
You know what? I think
you're a fish. You're the kingfish.
I like.
Can we talk about tight ends now? Is there any other wide receivers?
Just tell me so I don't do this throughout the week when I'm changing my lineups. No Fitzgerald and no Thielen. Just say it. Just tell me that, okay?
I will. I'll remember to text it to you for the rest of the week.
And we're not playing any Miami's Landry, even though he gets 20 targets this week.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to. I understand
no Devontae Parker.
I thought about it. I don't want it. Okay. I don't want it.
Upside limited. I get it.
Higgins. It just screams Higgins.
Yeah, I don't know. It screams it. We've seen Landry be this guy forever.
Yeah. But look, if it was Tannehill, I would say something different, but it's not.
I hope it's Matt Moore. That guy.
If it was Matt Moore, I would see. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't play him, but whatever.
Because they like quarterbacks that smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Tight end, I think, is pretty cut and dry this week. I mean, you if you want to talk about Gronk and Kelsey and Reed, you can.
I mean, we don't need to. We know what they are.
Look, just be careful. They're both questionable. I'm not paying up for tight end. The most expensive I'll look at is ASJ. because New
I
England's
don't think a
defense
lot of
stinks.
people are going to be on him, and it's
Right? I
kind
don't
of
either. And I think, he'll be in play for me. Hunter Henry, Ryan Griffin. Kyle Rudolph has the best tight end matchup on paper. So, if Diggs isn't there, I'm not afraid to go there. I think he might have a little sneaky potential to actually blow up this week. But I'm still not paying. You got to go lower, baby. Go lower.
yeah. I mean,
Give
like
me
you said, I like Hunter Henry. I like Jenkins. What do you think of George Kittle?
lower. I don't hate Kittle, but I'm not. They bumped him up a lot because of last
Dude,
week, and he did all that in one drive at the end of the game.
yeah,
Uh, you know, he's just not getting targeted enough. Like I said, last week he did, but it was three
he
three
did.
two. Like
Yeah, but I think I'm not like saying I think he's gonna have like 10 targets again, but I can still see seven in the realm of possibilities, and like they're not gonna be able to throw outside of Garcon,
there's
I
just
think.
I don't
And they're
know how
not
it
running
is.
the ball, they're gonna be down. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't love the spot for him, but I think it's a viable option.
agreed. They're always going to be down, so it'll always be a spot
Yeah.
for him. 3,400 isn't that bad. I want to pay less.
I
I
mean,
want.
Washington it might be the worst or the second worst at tight end, 31st against tight end.
Yeah, no,
So
I'll have some of him, but I kind of like Miller this week.
I like Miller
They're
too.
allowing Baltimore's allowing 16.9 points to the tight end spot. It's not like there's a lot of tight ends just floating around there. You know, uh, that's the
Hmm.
other problem in San Francisco. They have Selleck, they have Kittle. It's kind of that weird. They
Yeah,
have three guys, and you never know which one it's going to be, and it should be Kittle, right? You think it's going to be Kittle, and all of a
yeah,
sudden Selleck gets the touchdown, and you're just tilting because
yeah.
like it's going to happen, guys. I don't even know which Selleck this is. Garrett Selleck. Garrett Selleck. Put him on your lines because he's gonna
Oh my goodness.
catch 3 balls for 2 touchdowns and just Mercedes Lewis all over everyone.
I really like the Miller call. I like you
Look,
said, we
new
gotta
new
go lower.
quarterback, safety blanket. And then I don't mind Njoku, if you're playing with Hogan,
Hmm.
because he got. I know it's only 3 targets, but I feel like it's the same spot that Kittle was just in. Um,
Yeah, I
but
don't know. I don't love it. I'd rather
he's
go to
touchdown dependent.
Griffin.
I'd rather
Exactly.
have Miller because he's not touchdown dependent.
Miller for
Yeah,
over who?
over Njoku, over most of them, even Kittle.
Yeah, I actually like Miller more than
He
Griffin
got
because
7 targets
Griffin's gonna
last
be
week.
yeah, and like you said, Baltimore. That's where you beat them. That's
Yeah,
really where you beat them. So I might be going there in cash if I don't go Hunter Henry
and I like to
or
pay down a tight
Jenkins.
end. Then I can have
Yeah.
3 of those wide receivers and not be worried about it.
Yeah.
What about I don't. There's no one else, right?
Austin Hooper is another
Oh yeah,
option this week if Sanusit. All those, but again, like I said, the run game I really think is going to be. I think Devontae Freeman might be my guy. I'm really like stuck on their run game against Miami. I think they're just going to pummel away. Um, but like that's my point. Like Matt Ryan, you could play empty because if they throw, it could go to all these guys. Like, and that's why I don't like paying up for Julio Jones over like the
sure.
Hopkins there, and
No,
I'm
that
gonna
I
pay up for
understand.
Antonio Brown. So I mean, tight ends really pay down or go GPPs for the lower ownership on the top guys, and
Right.
I mean,
See, I
I
think it's
guess
spread out this
Zach
week too. I don't
Miller
think you're
and
gonna
Hunter
get a lot
Henry
of.
are like the middle guys that are like not going to be talked about that can
Sure. I don't think there's
actually
that
be
much chalk at
beneficial.
all at tight end this week.
I don't think there's chalk anywhere besides QB and some whiteout. That's
Sure.
it. Like
No,
it's
you're
kind
right.
of spread out a lot this week. Um, but again, remember, like people are playing Houston's defense. Like again, we talked about like in Cleveland guys. With JJ Watt out and the other Marcellus, I think it is. just understand it's going to be a big difference, and they might have more success than most people think.
Just play the Falcons, lock it in.
So seriously, Falcons,
Ravens. Ravens are another one.
Ravens. Yeah, I like the Falcons.
That's
more.
It's such a crapshoot with defense, but that's really what puts you over the edge.
I know, like
so.
It's
just to me, Falcons off a bye at home.
If you can find out any way that the Rams are going to throw a million times, then play Jacksonville.
Sure.
Because
they're pretty cheap.
There's something out there. There's one other defense I like, Washington against San Francisco.
Sure.
Again, Josh Norman's not there, so it kind of bumps it down. I was looking at this before, but their run defense should stop them. They are big favorites, so they might have opportunities to take away the ball.
Agreed.
And kicker, don't talk to me because I don't know. I think the guy is Tucker this week, though. Baltimore.
Sure. You know what? And I wouldn't be afraid if you're playing the Sunday night to go with McManus.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be up so big that at the end they're just going to be kicking field
Just
goals.
take guys who can hit the deep ball, because when they hit a 50-yard field goal, like this guy on the Eagles, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I love this guy. He just nailed the one from 50-something today. So get the guys who can kick the ball long and just hope for the best.
Cool. So before we get out of here, you got any bowl calls?
All right, I'm gonna do one. I believe Devontae Freeman will be the top running back of the week with 3 touchdowns, 150 yards, or maybe 200 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
Let's go that. Yeah. And another bold call is.
Oh, mine's crap then.
Ben Roethlisberger, QB1.
Oh, you make me happy. QB1.
QB1 on the
Killer
week.
B stack winning the Millie Maker.
Yeah, it's time for me to win it, man.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it today. I'm like, man, like I just want to quit my job. I need $1 million. So.
Well, I don't have a fun one then. Those are 2 good ones. I have the new DJ going for 150 all-purpose with 2 touchdowns, but yours are a lot cooler. Let's go with yours this week.
All right. I mean, I lose a lot of these, but they're bold calls. Like, literally from not even in the park. I just pull them out of my hat sometimes.
Awesome. Great work. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, subscribe down below. Let us know your comments, feedback, anything you guys want to hear about, questions. We're always watching, so we'll answer as much as we can. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Check us out on iTunes and Stitcher. Justin, see you later. Good luck this week.
Take care. Good luck, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Helen. Well. All right, hold on.